Okay, we're live. Hello, here's the camera. All right, we are here at the 2020 TSP workshop. There's old Jack. There's the lovely Nicole.
Hi guys.
Here's the camera.
I'm just trying to share this to the thing.
Share this to the group. We'd like you guys to tune in, check us out. We've been here, some people have been here for a while, but Jack does this workshop for the Survival Podcast members, and super duper inspiring. There's been over 70 people, I think over 75 people that have gathered. Lots of info on aquaponics, off the grid, sustainable home design. We just did a little round robin. I don't know what the hell you call it, but we sampled a whole lot of different types of mead and booze.
It's the mead sampling circle. Wow, that was like up my nose.
So we're a little buzzed up, enjoying ourselves. Life is good. Living free in Tennessee.
Yep.
Although we're not in Tennessee, we're in Texas.
Okay, so I got a problem, dude. My YouTube app is not giving me the link to share this. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go to our Telegram and our MeWe group and share it. Let people know we're live.
Here, let me, you talk. I'll do it.
I'm talking.
Oh, we're still live.
Here's the thing.
Okay, lost you. Okay, all right, we're here now. All right, so this was one of the first things that we did here at the workshop. Jack did a little tour of his aquaponics and food production systems over here. And then Nick did one of the food forest and the berms and swales, some permaculture stuff.
That's a really bright light.
So we're just going to give you a quick glimpse.
Yeah.
We could do this during the day too,
Yeah.
but these are wicking beds, the four
Right there.
squares.
This is like awesome looking comfrey right here.
I never heard of comfrey. What is comfrey, Nicole?
Okay, comfrey is a plant that returns nitrogen, like it mines nitrogen. Its little roots come down, it brings it up into these leaves, and then you can use it medicinally to treat bee stings. So if you get stung by a bee, you just sort of rub it on your, I'm sorry, going the wrong way. Rub it in your bee sting, or you make salve out of it. It helps with inflammation and rashes and like swelling. If you sprain your ankle, just boil water, throw one of these in there, about 60 seconds, and then put it on your ankle, and it takes the inflammation out. It's like the wonder herb.
But does it cure COVID?
No.
Okay, neither does kratom.
Why don't you eat that and just see? Yeah, don't eat too much of it though. If you eat too much, it is bad for your liver, but like that,
Oh,
fine.
shit.
No, you're good. You're
Well,
good.
the liquor's probably worse.
Yeah.
All right, so there's an aquaponics system back there. That's what that big rectangle is. And the aquaponics system also feeds water to the wicking beds. And then there's this, what kind of fruit tree is that? Did you catch that?
No, I didn't. I wasn't here.
There's a fruit tree here that gets watered as well from the over. So that's what we started with. And for me, that was super inspirational just to see
when
the
you get,
system.
do you have an aquaponics system?
I don't.
Dude, when you get your land, we need to do a GSD weekend at your land to put in an aquaponics system. It will change your life.
I'm still chewing this, and it's super bitter.
It is super bitter. It's medicinal though. Like so there's a big debate about if you should eat comfrey internally because it can affect your liver if you eat too much. But it also has medicinal impact. Yeah. So in like light amounts, it's not terrible for you. I wouldn't eat a ton of that though. My mom makes tea out of it. It's way easier to ingest as a tea rather than just like consume it.
Well, I'm drunk, so here we go.
So whatever.
Why don't we walk around and just check the scene here?
Oh, look, I found my beer.
So everybody's enjoying themselves. No. Another great thing about the event is just all the social opportunity to network with people and meet people and talk about projects and conspire together.
Yeah.
Hey, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Look at that beautiful beard.
It's like the longest beard ever.
It's extension.
You're like competing with John Willis with that one.
No.
You got a permit for that beard?
No, John Willis is the Versace of Velcro. I have nothing like that going on.
Hey, will you share with us what your presentation was about earlier? Because it was super inspiring.
It was life lessons learned from living in the woods for about 18 months. On and off.
And you're Jessica, aka Dixie, yeah?
Yes.
You got, what's your YouTube channel?
Homemade wanderlust. If you learn anything about backpacking or just watch what it might be like for somebody to live for 6 months and just walking a couple thousand miles and
Just a couple thousand.
yeah. From Mexico to Canada.
No big deal. Cool.
No big deal.
You learn some things though about yourself, about your perspective, about how much you put energy into things that don't matter.
Like politics.
Like politics. Yeah, I was actually in the woods when the president was, announced this time, and I had no idea. It was great. There was no ripple in the force that I felt with this change.
The animals don't give a damn. Hey, look who it is.
Oh my gosh!
Look at this guy.
It's the man.
What's up? Let's stand right here.
Yeah. We're goosing.
How are you, Jack? Where we at? Come right over here.
Right there.
How do you feel about this year's workshop?
I honestly think it might be the best one we ever did. I mean, you were here, John, so it had to be really good.
All right.
We're all lit
I mean,
as shit
John-
right now.
Here's the
He
camera.
presented twice. Yeah.
Yeah, twice in one day. I was running my mouth off today. Not everyone seemed annoyed with it, so that was good.
You kept giving us credit.
That makes
He
sense.
tried to pass around Delta 9 THC. Like, why don't you just put it on the
Wait,
table?
is that public information? Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah,
it's
it's legal, but it's not illegal.
Right.
Is it legal or illegal? I don't know, but it's not illegal.
How many of these workshops you done, Jack?
I don't know. I've done them for 8 years now. First year we did 5. I'm gonna say this is probably somewhere in our low 20s. Total workshops we've done.
Oh, wow. And sometimes they're more than just one a year.
Sometimes. Not anymore. There used to be. Like I said, first year we did 5. Then we were doing about 3. We went down to 2, and then we decided, for the sake of not getting divorced, we would do 1 a year.
That's
It's always a good decision to make.
And that's why Nicole does one in the spring.
I do the spring one so
She filled the
that
gap.
his wife won't. Well, when there's a gap, it's his wife, right?
Yeah, you gotta fill the gap.
How many people were here today, or this weekend and week?
Students, 65 with staff, 78.
Okay, let's ask the hard question. Why does this matter for personal freedom?
Because right now we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're not supposed to be in large gatherings, and we have clearly demonstrated many times over the last 4 days that we totally don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, what I've been thinking about in a serious note for a second now is the theme kind of from this workshop is a right isn't a right unless it's exercised.
True.
Like, unless
a
you're
muscle.
actually going to do, and I thought about that too, but I mean, just fucking do it. Like, you can have the right to carry a gun, but if you don't carry a gun, you don't really have a right to carry a gun, right? Because when somebody bugs you, you don't have a gun.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a right to assemble, it doesn't matter unless you assemble. We have fucking assembled.
Yeah.
Like, we have assembled our asses off.
We did draw the line where somebody licked their hand and was going to serve food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's never good,
We
right?
were
That's
really
not a
worried
COVID
about
thing.
Corona. Now, he was licking bourbon off his finger.
Yeah.
No, it was
Alcohol,
valid.
alcohol kills.
No, it was 18-year-old rum.
Yeah, it was 18-year-old brother.
Yeah, I mean, I would lick the 18-year-old rum off
And
my
we
finger,
don't
too.
wash your hands before
Well, you
you
wash
serve
your nasty booger bear.
There were how many people canceled because they were sick?
2.
Right.
Two.
And what happened?
They didn't come
They
here.
didn't come and get us all sick.
They followed rule number 1.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. You're not
That's
dick.
all you gotta do.
Don't be a dick.
That's like the non-aggression principle in different words.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
Right?
I would say this is an episode of No Agenda, but that's actually a real show. We clearly have no agenda right now.
There is no agenda.
Oh, by the way, look at my fucked up head. You see this?
Not my fault.
No, Nicole fixed it. If you can.
Oh, close up.
I mean, it was the best I could do,
You
Jack.
whitewalled the shit out. Not Nicole did not do this. Here, hold on.
This is the essence of a COVID haircut.
My wife cut my hair.
My wife.
And it wasn't because our haircut place is closed, but they make you wear a mask, which is stupid. But what's really stupid is like holding your mask like this while they cut that. No, I'm not
I
fucking
don't even
doing
know what
that.
that's like.
And I will look like this for the rest of my fucking life before I go to a goddamn haircut place and wear a mask. I'm not.
I got a
Literally,
non-mask.
If you're ever at my house, I can actually cut your hair with clippers and it won't look like that.
You know how most people, the more times they do something, the better they get at it? The first one she gave me was the best one.
Right.
And it's been downhill ever since. I figure I'm going to be bald next time.
Okay.
I got a non-mask haircut in Florida from an old school barber. It was awesome.
Wait a minute. That's a good idea.
Go to Florida just for the
Dude,
haircut.
I'll just take it next
You
time
know
I get a haircut. I'll
There's
go
a
to
lady
Florida.
named
I like
Rhonda.
Florida.
Rhonda, I love you. Who comes to my house and just cuts my hair at my house.
Very nice.
We don't wear masks.
While I was getting the haircut, an elderly couple, literally both of them must have been 80 to 85, walked in, no mask, ready to sit down and get a haircut. So,
Yeah.
let's see, we got some folks watching. We got Kill King 110. Hello. Oh God, are you guys planning a EMP strike?
Why would we do that?
Why would we do that?
Are we planning for one or are we planning to do one?
I do have an aviary that is a Faraday cage.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it's buried underground. It's 50 foot by 10 foot Faraday cage. It's Sean Mills approved.
Killing 110 says the second rule: don't start large fires.
We did that.
That was last night.
It was a big fucking
It was
fire.
a great
Don't
fire.
tell me what to do.
It's his land. He can start a
Gregory
fire.
says Diane and I are at our current place and totally jazzed by the fact that we're starting our search for our own homestead. Enjoy your weekend. Firearms, yes. Dicks, no.
I don't know how to get it.
All right, Gregory. That's what it's all about. There's a lot of people here that have homesteads. There's a lot of people that have aspirations to get homesteads. And the cool thing is when you get folks that have homesteads, like Jack, like Nicole, that are doing all sorts of cool stuff, and then you have people like myself that are aspiring to do that, it's really inspirational to see it in practice than to see normal people that aren't like freaking experts, although these guys are pretty with it.
I think he talks still.
But it's inspiring. I actually have the lowest tolerance out of the group.
Yeah,
I
well,
should
you
say,
drank the
so.
least amount of fucking alcohol.
Well, maybe we should do something about that.
Yeah, I think we should.
So it's inspiring to be around folks that are doing it
COVID.
because it shows you.
Come on, show you ain't afraid of no COVID.
No COVID.
COVID can't live in there.
COVID can't live in here.
I
'cause
mean,
my
it
immune
is
system's in
alcohol,
good
so
shape.
it like kills the COVID. Right?
Tell us about our vodka or water game.
Oh, that was fun. In honor of a friend named David who invented the game, we played vodka, moonshine, or water.
That's a fun game.
So we randomly poured equal amounts of vodka, moonshine, and water into small cups, got people into a big group, ran them through in groups of three and said, 1, 2, 3, drink! And then they each told us what they drank. The facial expressions are the reward in the game.
I videoed the whole thing. I got 10 minutes of vodka moonshine.
We need to
water.
put it on the Unloose the Goose channel.
We will.
We need it.
It was like fraternity hazing.
Hey, and we're endorsed. We ain't getting no fucking release. They signed a release form to come here.
Yeah, so we're good.
It didn't say anything about video, but it did not say anything about
We signed a form saying Jack could abuse us.
Yeah.
It said that I'm not responsible for anything that happened to you. I think
I
that
mean,
mean,
you
video.
could choose not to do the job.
Yeah, you could have chose.
Let's go check out the scene where we did all the workshops over here.
Thanks, Jack.
So this was the workshop space and the mess hall. Say hello, everybody. We're live on Unloose the Goose.
Sorry, Charlie's okay. There's a dog barking.
So this is where we did the speeches and the workshops, and literally this whole room's filled up with, what was it, 75, 85?
Yeah, 75, 80.
75, 80 people all in here, and lots of great talks. What were some of the highlights for you as far as the talks go?
I mean,
Nicole was the MC. She did a great job.
So I was great, yeah. But so Dixie kicked off today with her lessons learned from the trail, and that talk is always good for me because it, shows you what you will learn when you spend time with yourself. We had that awesome keto thing. I mean, Doc Barry was great. Everything.
He's kind of a big deal, huh?
He's kind of a big deal, yeah.
What he wrote, Lies My Doctor Tells
Lies
Me?
My Doctor Tells Me. That was an excellent presentation, and we had chances to ask hard questions. So, everybody has questions. When you're deciding to do a new lifestyle change, you want to ask, hey, how's this going to work with my kids? Do I need to do it with them and with me or whatever? That question came up.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked your talk on the freedom cells, because we're entering into an era where I think the relationships we have are the most important thing we have. That's your bank account. You may have money in your bank account right now, but if you have social capital, it's a bank account that's much more powerful as we move forward. So that's a great point. Me and the mother of my kids earlier in my activist career, we didn't have a lot of money. In fact, we were living in poverty, impoverished activists, but we could literally go to almost any state in the country, and we had a network of folks that would put us up on our travels or that we could rely on if a tire popped or whatever on the side of the road. So wealth isn't just about financial value, although that's important too. And we ought to have some riches. But having that social capital, having that network, there's a lot of value in that. So you can be wealthy, not just with money, but what I think wealth is the ability to do what you want when you want. Right? Money does help with that, I should say. We don't have any problem with money in this community. We like money. We like to attract money. But if you don't have a whole lot of money and you're connected because you add value, you share value with other people, you reciprocate, then you can still get what you want out of life a lot. But of course, again, money helps. Something that you were saying is one of the things that you recognized was people are helping other people without expecting anything in return. Correct. That's
which is something that Buddha talked about back in the day. Can you riff on that?
Okay, so the thing about this network that I have found fascinating and I love is that you'll have a room full of people like this, and everybody has a skill. You have a skill, I have a skill, you have a skill, you listener have a skill, and you'll hear somebody say something like, gosh, I really wish I could learn how to make lace with bobbins and threads. And it turns out that somebody in the room has that skill, and they'll say, I'll show you how to do that. The power of a network is that you don't know what everybody is good at necessarily. And it could be something as weird and obscure as making lace from bobbins and thread, right? I don't know that I'm going to need that, but the moment I need that, if I'm in a network and I need that, then that takes me to a new level. And if you've already invested the time in relationships, that's important. It's something. So I did the Kickstart Hollow Rose project, right? Super successful. People are like, hey, help me do that. I want to build a site like that. Well, building the site is not the thing that made that work. It was building the network for 5 years before that made that work. And by building the network, I don't mean I went out and said, like, you need to join my network, man, because blah, blah, blah. No, you just be you, exude your superpower to the world, and people come who are attracted to that, and that becomes your network. The key is keeping in contact with the people you meet who are quality. And that's something at a workshop like this, or the Freedom Cell meetups that you have, that's the tools you have. It's just, I mean, it seems so simple, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things that's simple.
I gotta just return calls, or I have to talk to people, or return emails. And sometimes I suck at that sometimes. But
it's simple, but not easy, because it actually takes work. And unfortunately, a lot of people aren't willing to do the work. But for me, it's all about adding value to other people's lives. So you don't have to be advanced. You don't have to have a business to do that. You don't have to have money to do that. You don't even have to have a network to do that. You just have to engage in the human relationships. And for a lot of people, it starts with what you already have, like your immediate family, perhaps. Like maybe you haven't been in touch with a lot of your family members. That's a great place to start, where it's a family unit. People rely on each other. And then you go a step further. Okay, maybe my friends from high school, maybe the folks that I grew up with, maybe the folks that listen to the same podcasts as I do, or into freedom or permaculture. How can I help them? And so when you do that, and especially when you do it authentically, where you're not like
how
I'm going to
can I
help them to get
so they
something
help
later.
me? Yeah, no,
You're just like, I want to help other human beings because it feels good, right?
Yeah.
There's like Ayn Rand talked about the virtue of selfishness.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thought where like there's not really this whole that's 100% selfless,
We're being photobombed.
because it does
John
feel
Dowie.
good. It does feel good to help people, right? So we get
Yeah.
good feelings out of that. So
Yeah.
just go out and help people. And in this community, gardening, permaculture, food production is a huge big thing. And that's something that's so low risk,
Yeah.
low barrier to entry. Anyone can put up a garden in their backyard, but it makes it a lot easier if you have help from that.
And if you put a deposit in your community account and don't expect a withdrawal,
Oh my God, there's a fucking mask.
where?
Is he wearing a mask? Let's kick his ass. Why don't you come talk to us? You're a funny guy.
It's a plague mask.
Oh my God, that is a plague mask. Is that literally a plague mask?
I don't know. Someone handed it to me, and I
Oh
said,
my God.
This
That's
is like
a fucking
the bubonic.
Spanish plague mask.
Yeah.
How are you?
Loose the goose.
Introduce yourself. We're live right now.
I'm John Dowie. I'm agorist as fuck. Am I allowed to swear? on
Where's
this
your
thing?
shirt?
Yeah, you
Like,
can.
oh, I'm not wearing. I'm wearing a
Now you're not Bill.
I want one of those
Sales.
shirts really bad. I don't know where to get it.
This
So-
is the Buffalo Bills record.
No, the Agorist is fuck shirt. I have a booby
So
shirt on tonight.
Jack called you out. I know everyone feels like so good when Jack says something nice about him. Everybody loves Jack in this community. But Jack said something really sweet about you, that he was really inspired by you because COVID came around, and entrepreneurs and employees, COVID comes around and they're like, oh my God, I lost my job, or my business totally flopped because of COVID.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, is it because of COVID, or is it because you didn't get your hustle on? So he pointed to your story with the microgreens. Can you share a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, so we, I spent the first 3 days freaking out, of course, like everybody, and not knowing what was going on. And I sell primarily to restaurants, and they all shut down. I'm in the Boston area, New Hampshire, Boston area. Everything got shut down.
Status is fuck.
Big time. Well, not in New Hampshire.
True.
But
Live for your die, baby.
they closed. I lost half my customers on the Friday. They shut down Massachusetts.
Black Friday?
And then within a week, I lost all of New Hampshire. So we transitioned to a home, based clientele type thing, deliveries and stuff like that. Everybody wanted eggs. We didn't have them yet because it was too early. Good times. And, we hatched a shitload of quail and just adjusted the business model somewhat. And then I started trying to search for other stuff to do, like stuff to sell.
Like barrels?
Like selling barrels.
He sells barrels.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
I need barrels so bad.
But it's
dude.
all cash,
Yeah.
which is good because,
Agris as fuck.
and it's all, kind of off, whatever. It's a beautiful thing. So we got through. Here we are. And we're still alive, so that's cool, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. So the idea is the barrel thing came along, and it's like, are you going to do this or are you not do this? And anytime there's an opportunity, kick the fucking door down and take the opportunity. That's
Fuck
the
yeah.
thing, right?
This guy does that.
How'd your business do through all the COVID stuff, Nicole?
So
Well, the Kickstarter shit.
I had 2 weeks of a flatline coffee order, and I bitched about it. And then I started getting like the resupply orders of 10 pounds of coffee at a time. And then I thought, well, I need to expand or I'm screwed. And so we did the kickstart, and now I basically doubled my business in 2 months.
Wow.
So I'm doing better now, which thank you guys. I really appreciate all your support. We're stoked to roast all that coffee. But I just didn't give up. And I think if I had not been in this network before, I wouldn't have had the bravery to say, fuck the situation. That's the situation.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do this.
Yeah.
That's what I can do. I'm not going to watch whatever that tiger or whatever. Did you see that? The tiger.
Oh, yeah, the Tiger King.
Yeah, I did.
I did watch that.
I
Never
did
seen
not
it.
watch Tiger King because I was trying to fucking sell coffee.
I did
Yeah.
spend like 4 days binging Netflix at some point.
Yeah.
because,
I mean, it's
like,
okay.
You
but
got to get your
You
binge
can't.
in every once in a
Yeah, why
while.
not
But
do
you
it?
got to earn it.
you got to
Yeah.
earn it.
Don't just do the binging and nothing else.
Yeah.
You got to earn that binging. My business, the Kratom and CBD, my business is like this since COVID.
There was like flatline and then woo.
It didn't flatline. I
Mine
had
flatlined.
momentum, and I was just
Keep it
fucking kicking the door down,
Yeah.
hustling. And I think, one cool thing, one takeaway too in this vein, but also when it comes to food production, self-sufficiency, is this is a community of truly sovereign people that have taken responsibility for their lives in almost every single aspect. So when it comes to external circumstances like Trump or Biden, or if there's a pandemic going on, or if there's an economic crash or collapse, maybe there's a minor setback, but we don't wallow in it. We just keep plowing forward because we truly are masters of our own domain.
Yeah.
We have our own economies. We create our own economy. This happens all the time. It's still streaming. We create our own economy regardless of what's taking place with the external economy. That's actually something I learned about this guy, Grant Cardone, the 10X rule. So great. And then to hear it live in person with folks like these, everybody can do that. Mindset is the first step, right? And of course, you got to take massive action, but you got to have your mind correct. So if you're wallowing, if you're in fear, if you're anxious, if you feel scarce and like, oh my God, life's terrible, and you're a victim, right? Then that's what you're going to manifest and create in your life. But if instead you're like, okay, shit's really hard right now, things are changing, but instead of focusing on the problem, I'm going to look for solutions. And I'm going to step up my game, and I'm going to see how I can still continue to fulfill wants and needs through goods and services. And I'm going to carve out my little piece of the pie. Do a W.
Like,
Let me see a
I
W.
have no control over that. I like to say you are the story you tell yourself.
Yeah.
And so if the story you tell yourself is,
Carol
well,
Baskin.
fuck,
Oh yeah.
the economy has crashed because everything's shut down and I can't earn any money and I'm fucked. I mean, like, that's a thing that happened to John. Like, his business went from I'm serving all the restaurants, like she microgreens, to holy fuck, they're not doing that anymore because they're closed, right?
Yeah.
He had to like shift fire. What are you doing now? You're doing like little green, like salad greens, right?
Yeah, we started growing. We expanded our product line.
Yeah.
And the other thing
He expanded when everyone else was
Yeah,
contracting.
he was like, well, microgreens are not a thing anymore, so I have
Also-
my equipment and I'll do this other thing.
also took some time because we had a little bit of like, we weren't doing as much in sales. We were
Yeah.
surviving. But I managed to perfect a couple of things that I was having trouble with and experiment with some nutrients and things like that. So came out the other end stronger in that regard. But the other thing we did that was big was we built some more community. Some people that on the road where I live on a dead end lake road in New England, and most of those people never talk to each other. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, everybody was concerned and talking to each other, and all of a sudden, there's a farmer in the corner.
Yeah.
And they're pretty excited about that. So took full advantage of that, helped them, install garden beds with all my spent microgreen soil that I never have any place to put. And it was great because I'm like, here's some beautiful soil, start your garden bed. Here we go. And a couple people got chickens, helped them with that. Lady
Yeah.
put up a Texas Prepper 2 greenhouse up the street from me, saw that I had 3 in the backyard and came up asking me about that. So it's great stuff. A lot of water collection going on now with barrels. So barrels. So
Selling
weird.
barrels,
Such a
making
weird
barrels
thing.
of money.
I mean, my point is this, like, that's an environmental factor, and so many people here have just chosen to say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't
There it
know
is.
which way to
You
go
gotta
for the
get that in
camera.
there.
Like, yeah, the middle finger. I'm just gonna do my thing, because if I don't do my thing, I'm fucked, and so I'll do it.
And we're
right?
not going back to a JOB
No.
with a man. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your podcast.
Thanks.
It's nice talking to everybody.
Thanks,
Keep
Dowie.
swinging.
Keep it up.
Yep.
Yeah, the cool thing, especially you have an opportunity when there's like recessions
Mhm.
or contractions, because
Yeah.
everyone else is in fear and they're slowing down.
Yeah.
And if you're in your prime and in your game and on point, then you can actually take a significant portion of market share because everyone else
Yeah.
is scared and in a state of inaction. And if you're taking massive action, then that puts you at a competitive advantage.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself, what's the opportunity, right? There is a thing that happened. What's the opportunity? I was talking to somebody who's like, there's a whole industry of like COVID compliance now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And
I
if
wouldn't
you
get
had-
into that.
I'm not
area,
going to get
though.
into
I was
it
selling
either.
masks for a little while at first, K95 masks,
Yeah,
and then I started
yeah.
ragging on
Yeah.
masks on Facebook, and I was like,
Maybe I should sell them.
But for like a month there, I
Yeah.
was making money selling masks and hand sanitizer and
Yeah.
shit. But yes, the
The point
industries are
is, ask
changing.
yourself that question
Yeah.
because, like, I'm a mail order coffee person, right? What better place to be for coffee when all the coffee shops are shutting down
Yeah.
than mail order? Instead of
yeah.
like hiding in my room watching whatever.
Carol Baskin.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is what I'm still catching up with. I'm that behind.
Oh my God, it's so good. I watched it like
I
five times.
finally saw. I'm gonna do that last Harry Potter movie too, like sometime in the next 6 months.
Look at this guy. Shot every time they say fuck, 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 fuck.
Oh,
Fuck.
Autofad, shut it.
You're wasted.
I know that dude.
You know that guy?
Yeah, he's been trolling us the whole time. He's trying to trip me up. That's his job in life. One time he got on one of my live streams and pretended like he couldn't hear me.
Oh, that's a good
And he
one.
got somebody else too as well.
Well, then you
And
got to
so
go
then I was
like
like,
this.
Damn it, my YouTube's not working. And somebody's like, no, we can hear you. And I was like, okay.
No, you go like this. So and then at the same, everybody was like, and Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
Then you control them.
Yeah.
All right, let's walk back out here before
Yeah.
we wrap up. So hopefully the audio quality is good enough with this nice little external microphone I got recently,
I
so
think
we
that
can do
thing's
this on the
badass, by the
podcast
way.
feed. It doesn't sound super sharp, but well, it's better than the mic. Look at this crowd here. Everybody, give me a honk! Honk, honk! Uh-oh.
Charlie's excited.
Sorry, Charlie.
All right, so let's just walk around. We'll wrap up here in a
Yeah.
sec. Beautiful crowd. One thing everyone has in common
Mm-hmm.
is they're all free as fuck, loving life, no masks, good diets,
Wait, we didn't get COVID though.
good health. Well, sometimes it takes a little
I
longer
thought
to
if you don't wear a
incubate.
mask, you like get COVID.
No, it happens. You know, somebody could get COVID at this
I mean,
event,
somebody didn't come to us event because they had COVID.
but we're all taking this personal responsibility, and it's like, you know the risks associated with life. You can't have a risk-free life, nor would I want to. You see a light turning, you're turning with me. All right. Any
This is
parting
like a
words?
This was the weirdest circle dance I've ever known in my life. Sorry.
We're two-step.
Guys, own your freedom, own your life, and realize it's a choice. Because when you choose to be free, nothing else matters.
All right, let's end with that. Fuck yeah.
Honk, honk.
All right, Unleash the Goose, episode whatever the fuck. 18,239. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. UnleashTheGoose.com. Peace.
So let you do that by yourself.